of humanity, and it may be, or certainly it is, a beautiful style of communication between cultures.
See, the American society is an open society. They're open to listen to anything. And when you have a society like that, it is very receptive to listen to you. And since it is listening to what Islam is saying, Islam is growing as the fastest religion in that country. Now, what Islam has to give to the American society, if you look to the American Constitution, if you look to the First Amendment, if you look to all the amendments and the Constitution itself, it is very much in consonance to the teachings of Islam. There is no violation of Sharia in the US Constitution.
Sharia means cosmic law.
Yes.
Okay.
So this is a big thing. And we looked deeply into the Constitution as American Muslims, and we found that the Constitution is very much in compliance to the Islamic values.
I must ask you one more question,
yes,
which is very interesting. How about the youngsters or youth of America with reference to Muslim community, like the Muslim youth, when they go to different shopping areas or malls, they naturally find food. So do they consider halal and haram?
Professor Qadri, this is very interesting. The question is very interesting, and let's stay there to the question. How the youngsters in the United States look to Islam.
Yeah.
Okay, that is the basic thing. Now there are interest groups all over the world, yeah, including the United States. There are people who would not like to accept Islam and would not like to see flourish Islam, yeah, in that country.
Yeah.
Now in that case, those interest group would like to damage the very percept of Islam, and the media, whether it is in the West or the media in the East, are not portraying the right thing. When you look to the media, there is a huge campaign against Muslims or Islam, and these are the things that a Muslim youth or Muslim society in America or in the West are facing. The truth of the matter is that we don't have extremists prominently in our society. They may be a small fraction of our society.
And it can be anywhere in the world.
It can be anywhere in the, yeah, world. So why Islam or Islamic society is being picked up or being labeled as terrorist or someone who is running that show on the world scenario?
I must say, sorry to interrupt you, that if any individual, if he commits any sin or any wrong thing, it doesn't mean that whole of the community, whole of the society should be specified, or whole of the community would be declared.
Yes, absolutely.
So stereotypes should be removed.
Yes.
So you think, Peter, like stereotype is very common in the Western world?
Oh, it is.
And how about the Islam, while some non-Muslims, while they see Islamic people or the Muslim people, yes, they say, yeah, they are good. But there are some people, they say, no, they are bad. So being a part of non-Muslim community, because you are representing here as a non-Muslim community, so what do you think? How can we remove this stereotype?
Well, that's a very important and question that requires a long answer, but I'll try to give you a short answer.
Okay.
What must happen is, in this increasingly complex world, you've got to eliminate extremism.
Yeah.
In whatever form it is, economic extremism, religious extremism, social extremism. We see all of them, and all of them indicate that humans are not dealing well with increasing complexity. Added to is the fact that Islam is itself trying to adapt to the complicated world at this stage in the universe. So I think the short answer is extremism is the problem.
So you think extremism is a sort of our interaction and our relationship and behavior. For this, we should be quite interactive with each other and respect our cultures and respect community and ready to hear what other person is saying.
Yes.
And if we promote this ideology or we promote this culture, so there must be peace in the world and tolerance, yes, would be working for the human being. So Professor Gholam Mujtaba, what do you think? How can we minimize our culture problems, or how can we minimize today's international issues? I mean negative issues.
Yes, absolutely. One thing must be clear, that we have to coexist.
Exactly.
There has to be a tolerance amongst the societies.
Okay.
There is no way that we can throw out the minorities in a country, say for example Pakistan. We cannot throw out the minorities from this country because we are the majority. No, that's not right. And the same thing applies to the West. You cannot throw out the Muslim minority out of the West. So whosoever is doing a vicious campaign in the media or propagating such notions, ideology, is wrong, dead wrong. You should accept it as a reality that Christian population in the West or Christian population around the globe is 2.1 billion.
Yeah.
Now the Muslim population is 1.67 billion.
Yeah.
So these are the two top populations in the world.
Yeah.
How can you eliminate any one of them? It's not possible.
Why not correlationship between these two world religions, and they have same roots. They are children of Abraham.
Absolutely, yes.
And they are promoting the concept of monotheism. While if you look at
very right,
the
very right,
roots,
Professor Qadri, yes.
you will see Moses, Jesus, Muhammad.
Now let me continue from here what you're saying.
Yeah.
These three religions, Islam, Christianity and Judaism,
Yeah,
are the offshoots of the Abraham's doctrine.
exactly.
So we believe Prophet Abraham as the forefather.
Yeah.
And now that forefather's doctrine is very much in Christianity, is very much in Islam, and very much in Judaism. These are the three great monotheistic religions of the world.
Then why they are far away?
Now we have common grounds. We have so many common grounds to follow. Why should we argue on something where we have a difference of opinion? We should find out common grounds. In our societies, we should accommodate each other. We should be tolerant to each other, and we should listen to each other.
Good, and that's why Peter is here, and I want to ask him a question. We are children of Abraham.
Yes.
And naturally, we are looking for peace.
Correct.
We are looking for...
Most of us.
Exactly. And we are looking for a peaceful settlement if there are some differences between cultures. So how can we promote our relationship to respect each other?
Well, the answer to that is actually quite easy.
Yes, the answer is very interesting. And I know you'll be talking about different aspects of this relationship. But we have to go for a short break. Please stay with us. We'll be coming soon. Dear viewers, welcome back in our program Islam in the Contemporary World. Today's discussion is about community ethics. What is community ethics? I have already asked to Peter. Come on, Peter, we'll go for our question.
Yes. Well, the answer is twofold. Firstly, because of complexity, there's absolutely no doubt that extremism of any form has to be removed from whichever culture you're dealing with. Secondly, the vast majority of people follow cultures, religions in a very broad, positive, altruistic fashion. There are, in all religions, again in this complicated world, people who emphasize the rituals of the religion. But the fundamentals, as we've mentioned before, are all the same. So the fundamentals should be promoted, spread, and they will clearly have a positive impact.
So being a person from non-Muslim world, how do you see Islamic community and its ethics?
Well, the Islamic community of the extended family was founded in a harsh desert environment, and this was an emphasized part of it which has stood the test of time far better than the Western ethics of the individual. So although it's under stress and pressure, fundamentally it's a better way of dealing with the world as it is evolving.
So how do you see an individual in Islamic country, an individual who got freedom of speech, freedom of interaction, freedom of work, freedom of trade, freedom of everything within the parameter of legal assurances. How do you see the Muslim world?
Well, the point about that is very simply, freedom without responsibility is anarchy.
Exactly, exactly. It creates anarchy, yeah.
And that responsibility is emphasized in the Muslim world, whereas it is not in the evolved, individualized Western world.
So you enjoy your stay in Muslim community?
Yes, I've had a great time.
Food? Only food or something?
No,
rituals and festivities?
The people.
How do you enjoy stay in Muslim community?
Yes, only found kindness, helpfulness, in fact too much kindness. I gained 30 pounds because they said, have a bit more all the time. So in fact they were a bit overkind to start with.
So,
but I've never had any problem at all.
You like halal food?
Yes, that's fine.
How about the dresses and Eid and
you know,
noodles, the sweet noodles? You must be knowing about all these.
Well, the fact is, I'm also a professor of nutrition, and that's a whole different story. People eat according to taste, and the taste is wonderful. If you think South Asia was invaded for its spices, and that all the spices now are very good medically. They're even as good as some of the best medicine.
Let me add something to your discussion. I was at King's College. I went for my PhD there, and I was in the queue at the cafeteria in London, and my professor was ahead of me, and he said 2 chapatis and 5 samosas. I said, is this London I'm in, or is this someplace in Pakistan?
I believe Americans and Canadian and the European people, they like spicy
food. The British in particular have
they
developed the taste for these spices.
What I wanted to ask him, they go for halal food, and especially like while you have meat or some other stuff, the beef, the goat. So they go for halal. Why? Like medically speaking, because you're a professor of medicine and you know it very well as compared to me. So they prefer to have halal meat.
Well, firstly, meat is not what our gastrointestinal tracts were designed for. But in fact, halal is as good as anything else and probably safer for all conditions.
Why safer?
Well, because you take out the heme. Remember, heme blood, meat is dangerous because of the attached fats and because iron is in the form of heme, which affects the liver, the heart, all sorts of things.
Okay, and how about wine? Because Islam has prohibited this.
Well, remember the story of wine. It was prohibited when the excess was seen. And of course that's a huge social problem in the Western world.
Yeah.
So if you look overall at health, what people want is not always what they need. So if you have to choose between prohibition of wine, because humans will never be moderate about things, I would think it's a good thing.
So I believe, Professor Mujtaba, that Islam, being a follower of cosmic law, the Sharia, whatever Holy Prophet Muhammad conveyed to humanity, naturally he did not speak by his own wish. As Quran says, whatever he says, it is revealed upon him.
Yes.
So Holy Prophet Muhammad for our social norms, for our ethical behavior, whatever he proved, whatever he did, it is 100% tested. And now contemporary world, while they go for these stuff, whatever Professor Peter has mentioned, it is proved that Islamic food, culture, dress, teachings, norms, relationship, everything is 100% perfect and scientifically proved. What do you say about this?